Welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, everybody. Today will be two subjects, and the first one will be a layout construction status update, and the second will be installing a Airbrush booth that I've had for a very long time that when we moved across town here in the little town that we live in, I lost access to my ability to vent that Airbrush booth, and so we're going to take a look at getting that put back here at our current residence. Earlier this fall, I said that something had to change in order for construction to be furthered here on this HO scale model railroad. Well, something did change, and I applied more focus to getting layout construction done, and it really doesn't look like from track and bench work that much has been done, but we've got panels completed now, and we're ready to move on to the next stage with one small exception, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. So here's the Madison subdivision staging area panel that I put in. This is the first panel that I put in, and probably the most complicated with the most switches on it. But it looks great, and it'll be functional, and it actually throws the switches up here, which is an added bonus. Moving on, we've got the whitewood panel here that's going to control those tracks. In the back here, those 4 tracks that we've got, including the main line. And then we've got the Marshall sub panel, which controls these tracks here in the foreground. Here's the panel. We have Sioux City and Island here, a UP and C&W operation and a Burlington Northern Marshall sub place. And then we have Metal Arc Tower. I have one switch to put in here yet. The switch is actually on the panel, but I have not actually installed the tortoise machine here because obviously I don't have track laid. I don't know exactly where this is going to be here, so I'm kind of keeping my cool with this for the time being. And then I discovered another panel and set of switches that needed to be put in. I actually mounted the tortoise machines during that big effort that I was doing, but you see there's this crossover here underneath this coal train. I will need to wire, I've already actually got the panel together. I'll show you that here in a bit. I've got the panel put together, and I plan to put that on here before we get started with more benchwork construction. You see in the foreground here is the drill track for the Sioux City yard, and the train itself is sitting on the main line here. My plan is to have one panel with one switch on it, indicator lights, and the one switch will control both of these switch machines, because I don't think it'll ever be that you'll want to control them independently for any reason. So again, the switch machine's already mounted. I just need to get a panel up and get the switch on it and indicator lights and all that fun stuff. So here's my raw panel. I've already got the frame built for it. We did this the same way as we did the other ones. I'll link to those in the description down below. And once we get these put up, I can put the switch on it and get indicator lights. I plan to use those bipolar LEDs for this one. I'll show you that maybe an episode in January, February. So let's go out to the garage now and take a look at the Airbrush booth installation that I did here a couple of weeks ago. So here I have my bill of materials for this Airbrush booth vent project. I have a piece of plywood that I cut to size for the window opening. I marked for the hole for the 4-inch flex. I couldn't find the plastic flex. I think that might be not code anymore. This is, I believe, 25 feet. It should be plenty for what we need. I got a couple of clamps here, and then I've got a flapper. Not that I necessarily need to keep the cold air out, because I really don't. This is going to be a temporary mount when I'm just using with the airbrush. The flapper is just so I have a collar to attach the flex vent to. So here I am. I've got a 4-inch hole saw rigged up to my cordless power drill. I'm going to go ahead and cut this 4-inch hole for the flex vent in the plywood here now. So now I have mounted this flapper here on this piece of plywood. This will be the garage side. The back side will be the outside. And I have pre-drilled 4 holes for screws, which have fairly wide heads on them to hold that collar or flapper onto the plywood. So I'm just test fitting this into the window here now, and it looks like everything worked good, and I have the ability for that flapper to move enough for air to come through there. Do it till we bottom out with the screen behind. So I'm happy with that. So now I just got done attaching the flex here to the flapper using a 5/16 nut driver on this clamp, and we're pretty much ready to mount this in the window and attach the other end to the airbrush booth. Let's get going. So I have my plywood, the collar, and the flex line fitted temporarily in the window here. The cold is on the outside and the warm is inside the garage here. I have the other end of the flex plumbed onto the airbrush booth here, and the one thing left is probably, besides to get a bungee on this flex here to make it so that isn't quite a bend there, is to get a filter, an air filter here so that paint doesn't all go right on that squirrel cage fan. But that's kind of a trivial matter. We can get that done. And looking forward to some airbrush projects after the first of the year here on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad. So to the untrained observer, it doesn't look like a whole lot got done here this fall on the Black Hills and Eastern Model Railroad, but you know what? There is quite a bit of progress been made, and I'm pleased with the outcome of that effort to get those switches put in. That'll allow us to move forward on our goal of being able to put bench work in before Christmas or over Christmas break here. Probably not going to be able to get a lot of that done, but we're moving forward just according to plan, so that's definitely good news. We hope you enjoyed the content here. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.